As the month of September rolls around, the first hints of fall are in the air. While most Easterners are beginning to think about whitetail hunting, those who elk hunt know that sounds of bugling bulls are already echoing across the canyons of the great western mountains. These magnificent animals are gathering their cows for the rut that will soon be in full swing. The vastness of elk country and sounds of bugling bulls makes each observer recognize what a small part of heaven is like. The ruggedness of the mountains, the changing foliage, and the running streams illustrate the pristine beauty from our Creator. The altitude of most elk habitat is literally lung-stretching. 7,000 to 13,000 feet finds each of us gasping for air while standing still. Climbing this rugged country makes each person realize what poor physical condition we're in when taking on an elk hunt. In spite of all the physical agony, the mountains call us as sportsmen back each year for another close encounter with what our Native Americans called the Great Wapiti. The hustle and bustle of making a living is out the window in the West. No one gets in a hurry, and it takes a good 6 to 10 days to realize the full potential of an elk hunt. Much time is spent glassing the countryside for elk. The high altitude offers a bird's eye view of the lay of the land. Looking for any movement from an ear to a tail will reveal the many different species of animals that inhabit this terrain. Mule deer can be seen moving about. Bear are a common sight, as well as coyotes. But nothing draws more attention than a big bull tending his cows or raking a tree, leaving his territorial marks. The Rocky Mountain elk has made a comeback similar to the return of the wild turkey. Through the efforts of sportsmen's dollars, good management, and nonprofit organizations such as the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, the elk are back to stay. Just as the American bison once roamed over the vast prairies of the West, elk now occupy most of the mountains in all western states, becoming our pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Suitable habitat in the east is being explored, and elk herds are being established again in this once prairie grass country. The Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation offers dollars for these restoration programs and is an organization worthy of your contributions. An elk hunting trip takes a lot of advanced planning. An outfitter is a must for the Night and Hale team. Carrying equipment, recharging batteries, prepared meals, and good lodging is the order of the hunt. In New Mexico, Limestone Outfitters with the Welty family is chosen for their hospitality and success ratio. In Colorado, Rocky Top Outfitters with Colorado Buck offers exceptional quality bulls. Each of these outfitters have gone out of their way to help their hunters be successful. Thanks to their efforts over a 3-year period, the Night and Hale team is able to bring you the ultimate in elk hunting video. So sit back and enjoy their version of Calling All Bulls.
Folks, welcome to the first in a series of Ultimate Elk videos. We're out here in New Mexico with Limestone Outfitters. We've already had a successful hunt. Guys, this is our first video. We got a lot of hunts in it. We got a lot to show and a little to talk about. So let's get to talking about the little we're going to say.
Well, I think if a person can't find what he wants to hunt with in this video, it'll either rifle, muzzleloader, bow. You know, he's going to have to search somewhere else because we got them all in there, Dave.
That's right. We hunted Colorado, New Mexico with rifles, muzzleloaders, bows. When you carry all of the equipment over these hills like we did and
Yes.
use every kind of strategy, and of course we had some help. We had some excellent guides, and that's very important.
Oh, there's no question about it. And you know, it's taken us 3 years to come out with a whole new series of elk calls that these guys have helped us design out here, especially the Welty boys, because they showed us what reaching out there the long distance on cow calls can do for it, and man, me so much of turkey hunting. When you go to cutting and popping and carrying on to get that bull excited or that gobbler excited, it's a lot of similarities.
That's right.
You know, about every year, you'll notice in the turkey industry is something new, and the same in the elk industry, because people learn, you know, they come out and they find something that works better. A better mousetrap, and I think we found a better one.
Your brother Butch, along with our help a little bit on the side, but Butch's been elk hunting for a long, long time.
He may be our premier hunter from back home.
That's right. He's designed 5 different calls this year.
And spent a lot of time, and you know, you'll notice the latex in those calls are a little different. They're a little looser, and I don't have to give him credit. I wouldn't have thought that'd work. That works better.
Well, he's got 3 new mouth diaphragms, and they're a single, a double, and a triple.
And I think that's all you need, Chuck.
That's right. And then, of course, the call that we worked on last year that opened our eyes to elk calling with all that volume, the Magnum Estrus cow, is a reed-type call where you use lip pressure, and it's a tremendous call. And then the easy cow talker is a bite-down type call, which I think is a little bit easier call to use. You do not get the volume out of it.
Well, everything's got a place. Now, you know, there's certain kind of calls, whether you're turkey hunting or whether you're elk hunting, that you'll change from long distance to close in. And, you know what, you can't blow these elk out when you get them close in, but I think the key to it is you got to find them and move to them. And then if you get in tight and you're a little bit nervous about blowing too loud, you can use that little bite-down call, and it has a great place.
Well, David, that is a super elk. Time the season's over. Right now, we could have 7 or 8, 9 hunts, and with a little luck, we could have quite a few more to add to this video.
I tell you what, this is a super elk for a boat. I don't care what anybody says, you know, that's a good elk for a boat. And I just hope I get the opportunity this week to get the same opportunity David had. I hope he comes to my call instead of David's the next time.
Well, let me tell you something, Harold. You've had your share of bow kills all through time. This was my opportunity right here. I'm really pleased with it. We have just about shot enough bull right here without the play on words. What do you say we get into one of the most exciting, bugling, calling, running at us elk footage that you'll ever witness? Well, did you hear that bull bugling?
Yeah, heard him. I seen him and another one, pretty nice bulls. That one's real big.
Where was you sitting up on top of that big peak up yonder? Flashing? Yeah. We were standing right out here, and I heard that joker bugle. Yes, sir.
You say it's 2 good bulls?
Yep.
All right, now,
They're getting up. He's over this ridge right here and getting.
Where's that tank you were talking about?
See right below them here, and they're working their way down, so they ain't but about 600 yards from us.
What about the wind?
Wind's
Well,
going to be,
we'll
we're
get
going to have
down
a crosswind, but it's going to be, we have to play it.
We going to the
See
park
what
this
it's
way?
like. Yeah, we'll get over there and get set up. Hopefully the wind will be with us.
Let's go with it.
Expert guide David Welty of Limestone Outfitters knows exactly how he wants to position David and Chuck to hunt these elk. It's bugling time in New Mexico, and this old bull is warming up for the courtship. Aggressive cow calls on Knight and Hale's Magnum Estrus cow call are the orders of the day. Just like turkey hunting, your setup is the key for calling. In this case, the guide will position himself on a ridge 100 or so yards behind our team. Working a herd of elk can be tough, but if you get the attention of the cows and calves, when they come in, the bulls will follow.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, I hope that shot was as good as you're calling.
Yep.
It
was.
looks good.
Or better.
Boy, I tell you what, that big broadhead and that ACC shaft, it zipped right through.
Yep, that was perfect hit.
He ran up here by you, didn't
Shoot, he didn't stand 20 yards from me for about 10 minutes.
he? Did the shot look good?
Yep, perfect.
Well, David was filming him. I got up, snuck back to the camera, and he was turned around. He said, "There he stands right there," and it looked perfect. But you know, when that adrenaline's pumping like that.
No, he stood right there, and then he went right over that little ridge there. And I'm pretty sure I heard him fall.
Did you? Well, you only spend 35 minutes. Clouds are kind of off and on. It could rain. I don't think it will. You want to head after?
Yeah, we'll probably better go see if we can find him.
Good. Look it right there, but I don't believe he's going to be very far. No, that's possible. He's stumbling out there. They don't feel that. Look right there. There he is. Good job. Good enough. That is one pretty animal. He's a 5 by almost 6.
Yeah.
Man, that was one unreal hunt. That bull's gonna make Pope and Young.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good bull. 5 by 5.
Hale, come on in here with us, brother. Well, Mr. Videographer, what do you think?
I'll tell you what, I got some beautiful stuff, that bull coming up through there. And when you pack one of those 30-pound cameras and 20 pounds of gear, you earn that footage. But we wouldn't have had squat if this man back here hadn't been blowing that cow call like he was.
He has, of course, he and Darrell and Chip, all the Welty boys designed that Magnum Estrus cow for us. And we came out here to test it. You think she's fine too,
Yep.
David?
That call right there is the best one ever
Hit
made.
it one time like you were calling.
You know, Chuck, I heard the cows up there with that bull when he was bugling. I could not tell the difference. If I had known he was behind me, I'd have swore it was a cow. And I'm not just saying that. And when the proof in the pudding was when those calves came in the field and I first picked them up in the video, an old cow done gone across the other way. And they turned, he called just the right time, those calves come trucking down through there, and here come a couple of cows. And the rest is history, son. You got you a great bull. I don't know much more I can say except I am proud you didn't wait for the big one to come out there.
What do you mean the big one? I thought this is a big one.
Well, in your mind it is, but there was a bigger bull back there. And David, I guarantee you if he'd have waited and hadn't taken that bull with him pulling the screen and all we've been through, we'd have wrestled around this mountain a big time.
We'd have left him on this mountain.
That's what's nice about hunting out here with these guys. A satellite bull most of the time is a Pope and Young bull.
Yep, that's exactly right.
We've got some great footage. You've got 6 or 7 different bulls. Of course, bow hunting, it's tough to get them to come into you all the time. The rut is just beginning. So you ought to have to get
And your hunt has just ended, and mine is just beginning.
It's beginning with that camera.
That's right. Trade shoes with me, son.
On the first morning of David's New Mexico hunt, guide Robert Pfeiffer of Limestone Outfitters has been following 2 different herd bulls pushing their cows to a bedding area. Using the new Night and Hale Magnum Estrus cow call, Robert is able to get the bulls to bugle most any time. He and David are trying to get ahead of the herd when a silent 6x6 bull is heard walking towards their calling position. The sun has not yet reached the top of the mountain, therefore the thin air is still cool. The bull is sure his cow is there, but decides to circle before presenting a shot at 30 yards. With the excitement of a big bull getting closer and cold hands as David's excuse, see if this has ever happened to you. He pulled the trigger before getting his bow back. The bulls won, David nothing. About mid-morning the second day, the bulls were ahead 3-0. Guide Robert Pfeiffer and David are glassing an area in hopes of spotting a bull. All of a sudden, 2 bulls started bugling. After checking the wind, the boys moved into position. A quick cow call to find the bulls, and David gets another chance.
Right through here, didn't he?
Yeah.
He's leaving pretty good blood coming up through here.
Yeah, I'm glad you shot him that second time.
It's like he stumbled right through here. He's going right up this grassy canyon. He goes right there. Look right there where he is. Yep.
Whoa, 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 whoa. There he is.
Oh, he's stumbling. He's heavy.
Yeah, he's done. Let's go look at him. Oh, he looked like a big fast
Thank you, son. You done good.
Well, thank you.
Gee whiz. Look at here. What do you think? Get over on him right there and hold him up for a minute. What'll he score?
Oh, around 250. We'll have to put a tape on him, see. Sure.
Gee whiz, that is a good deal. Well, son, I'll tell you something. We've been hunting all day yesterday and got into some of the greatest bull footage. We didn't ever connect on the early part, but we had some good hunts. You have really been experimenting a lot with that cow call, and just about every bull we got into yesterday either answered us or like these two came to us. What do you think about it?
Well, it's as good a call as there is, I think. I mean, it's got all the volume, and right there's proof.
Well, let him hear one more time what you was doing to him. What that call's got volume in it.
Yeah, and the volume, what calls them in from long ways out.
Well, I'll tell you something.
Talking to you.
We're going to have to get all them boys some of them Magnum cow estrus calls, because after they see this right here, we're going to have to go to work. Besides cutting this bull up, we're going to go to making calls.
Yeah.
Well, you did a good job for me. I really appreciate it. It looks like to me the work's right ahead of us. We're going to have to go find
just
some
started.
help.
Get
It's
him
just
out of here.
started. Okay, I got to go get my backpack and the other stuff I left there. What do you say you go find Darryl and see if we can get some help?
All right.
Now, let's join our team for this elk hunting tip.
Bob, the guys from Night and Hale want us to give a tip on how to locate and harvest big elk with their elk call.
We don't have to tell them where we killed them, do we?
No, that's part of the deal. But, you know, getting elk like this, first of all, you got to be where they're at. And you using the Night and Hale call, we can locate them and are able to maneuver and get in position to where we can get the elk close enough to harvest with a bow. This elk I got in 1989. It was the first Boone and Crockett elk that I took with a bow. It scored 381 and 7/8. This elk I got in 91. It scored 379 and 2/8. Now, these are nice elk, but they're not nearly as big as yours. What'd your elk score?
He Green scored 411 and 7/8, and he netted out 404 and 2/8, number 2 in the world.
That's a huge bull.
Yeah, he was a nice bull, and he was 7-7, and killed him about 40 yards, and he got both lungs.
You did use this call to bugle him in, did you not?
Used this call, and kind of what I did, he was over on the other side of the mountain, and I just hit a note, a little rusty, but he turned and came down that mountain, and they went over there, and I just drew back and hyperventilating. One of the things I learned, you've got to stay calm or I'd have blown it.
Right.
And I just counted myself down, center pull, release, and that was it. But that's the best call, and that's the reason I killed it.
How far was he when you shot him?
40 yards.
How far did he go?
About 90.
You know, a big bull has got a sound, you know, that the other bulls don't have. They'll chuckle after they bugle. And this elk call right here is the only one that I know that you can mimic that call with.
Man, Bubba, that's good. And that's the best call that you can find for the big bull.
Roger Kennedy, a longtime friend of Night and Hale, teams up with David on a western elk hunt. Roger is a veteran elk hunter, having taken 8 good bulls with bow and arrow. Since bugling season is going strong, Roger feels he can call in a good 6x6. It's opening day, and his expectations are high. Using his big bull bugle, Roger gets an instant response. This bull is approximately 200 yards away. Roger slowly moves into call position. Using his magnum estrus cow call, the bull answers immediately. Several bulls were called in, but as it so often happens, this would be the best bull called into bow range in 6 days.
That's nice, bull, but it's just a big 5. Let's let him go, because there's a lot of bulls in here. We got 4 or 5 days done, 3 or 4, so let's don't shoot this and let him go.
On the first day of Earl's 6-day hunt, Harold and Chip Welty decide to team up calling and sound like a harem of cows. After an unproductive morning, Chip got an immediate response from a bedded bull. Earl moves 30 yards toward the bull and makes his stand. Chip and Harold call, sounding like 2 different cows. The bull, as usual, decides to circle, looking for the cows. Earl will have to pick his shot very carefully.
What he done, you gotta get that limb. This part flew off and just kept going, stuck in that tree. Yeah. Laid a limb. There's plenty of them here. I know it's plenty of them. What happened when I was shooting out, I couldn't get a clear window. I thought he was coming to the left, and I was shooting through a bunch of brush, and I thought I hit him all. When I released, the air kissed off of one of them. 22, 23 yards.
On the 5th day of Earl's hunt, he has his 4th close encounter with big New Mexico bulls. Chip once again gets a quick response, and a big bull is on his way. Earl quickly chose a spot, and the heart-stopping experience begins again.
close was he to you? Well, he was 17, 18 yards right there. He sat there forever, didn't he? Oh, dude, I couldn't see him because of those bushes right there. I couldn't get a clean shot. Came around this way a little bit, but which way did he go? He went right around that way, didn't he? Yeah, I think he went right off that hill. Okay.
Well, Earl did not get his bull, but what a trip. The Welty boys did a great job, and Earl will be back next year for sure. Now, here's another elk hunting tip.
Yeah, that was some great footage we just watched.
It sure was.
There was some good elk hunts and everything. You know, you're a new member of the Night Hill Pro staff now. You was real instrumental in helping design these new elk calls we got here. I know some of the features you put into this here is the wider frames and everything, and different colors and different tightness latex. What was the reasoning behind a lot of that?
A lot of the reasoning was to get the proper airflow through the mouth with the wider frame, and with the colors we found it important when you're working a bull out in the wild, you want to be able to get the right call at the right time quickly.
I know you suggested to put texture, make them texture too. That to keep it stationary in your mouth.
Yep. And so they don't slide around at all.
I know we got names for them too. The colors coordinate with the names. The single spruce, which is green, and the double aspen is the yellow, and the black one is this triple dark timber.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's pretty neat because a lot of times when you're out in the field hunting, when you reach in and get a call, you won't know which one you're getting. If they're all the same color, it's hard to distinguish sometimes. You run a outfitting service yourself in central Montana.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the name of it too.
Yep.
In
Central Montana Outfitters.
I know you've done a lot of competition calling and everything. What are some of the top events you won there?
Last year, 1996, I won the Eastern United States Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation calling event. I took second in the World Open Division in Reno, Nevada. I won the United Bow Hunters of Montana calling competition in the Moore Show in Montana.
Let's go through some of these calls here and show them which ones are used for what and the reason behind some of the designs and everything. This is our single spruce, single reed call. This is used for close-in calling.
And this is a double aspen diaphragm call, and this is very versatile for the cow talk as well as the bugle. And then we've got the dark timber in black, and that's a triple call. I really like using this for the bugling.
That sounded good. You know that color coordination is going to really help the hunter out there in the field.
It sure is.
Why do you say let's go look at some more of this elk footage?
All right.
Darrell Welty and pro staffer Jeff Probst have eased right into a long canyon that holds several bugling bulls. Eight to 10 power field glasses like Pentax's DCF series are a must for any elk hunter. It's also very important for our hunters to get the wind right, then slip into the herd from downrange and try to make a close setup. This big bull has broken several cows out of a large herd. A close setup and some aggressive calling could easily produce a shot. Darrell places Jeff 50 yards ahead at the base of a ridge, hoping to pull the bull over the edge past the hunter. Elk hunting can be a lot like turkey hunting. In this situation, getting the cow's attention can bring them in, and usually the bull will follow behind.
Tell you what, Darrell, you got a bunch of good blood here. That bull's hit good.
Yeah, he ought to be far.
It's all up to there. It's easy on up there.
Almost a 6. Man, he's giving us a good day, didn't he? Bugle. This is the same bull.
Harold teams with one of USO's top guides, Grizz Montoya. When Grizz's bugles get response, the hunt begins. Grizz positions Harold 50 yards ahead of his calling position to hopefully lure this bull in for a shot. As the bull turns to go away, Harold takes advantage of the quartering away angle. But with all of that thick brush, Harold must pick a hole the bull will pass through and make a good shot.
Oh man,
What'd you shoot him, 30 yard?
30 yards. That's what I had the 30-yard pin on. That's
He's
where
a
I
good
want
bull.
to shoot him. I don't want to shoot him no further than that.
You sure answered that call pretty good.
Now then, the work has begun.
Yes, sir.
Now, I'm lost as last year's Easter egg. Which way's the truck? I'm
Which way
turning
you
around.
think it is?
This way.
Follow me, big boy.
That's where you need a guide, I guess.
That's right.
Now, let's join our team for this elk hunting tip.
Chuck, you know, the last 2 or 3 years, we've covered a lot of territory out west, packing all this heavy equipment, these cameras, film, making this video. You know, we need to talk today about some of the essential things that you have to get through this country.
You're right. That's some rough country. A lot of rocks, lot of unstable terrain.
You know, these whitetail high-tech shoes right here, weighs a pound each. They have helped me tremendously the last couple of years out west. I can tell a big difference since I started wearing these.
You're right. The way they lace, they got super ankle support. Of course, the sole on them offers great support in that
Going
rocky
downhill
terrain.
and uphill.
That's right. And another thing, the soles on them are quiet. You can feel where you're stepping, and that is important elk hunting. And you wore those, and I wore this Sierra. It's a hiking boot that they made. It's completely waterproof, and it is one super shoe.
I know one other thing they left out too that I always take with me is an extra pair of socks.
That's right.
That's one of the most refreshing things in that afternoon hunt. If you get it caught out there all day, put them dry socks on.
That's
Boy,
right.
I mean, that is refreshing.
That's a good tip. You're right. Well, you know, we just came out of the archery hunts, New Mexico, and there's some great footage there, some good hunts. It was exciting. Cow calling is very, very important. We learned that over the last few years, how important it is. And we're going on some muzzleloader hunts. Matter of fact, yours is coming up.
We're coming up in New Mexico. Dave and I have been shooting those muzzle loads, you know, without optics on them. Because you're not allowed to use optics out in New Mexico, and I think we've got it down to where we can hit an elk. At least my confidence is a lot better than it was when I first started shooting.
Yeah, those CVAs are good guns, and y'all did a lot of practicing with iron sights. That's important. You got to know your weapon in anything
Absolutely.
you do.
You sure have.
Well, let's talk about cow calling a little bit. We've stumbled onto something the last couple of years.
You know,
Let's talk about
we've
it.
stumbled on. We've had some help with some people on it, and I want you to demonstrate. I call the loud cow call. It's that Magnum.
It's the Magnum estrus cow, and it's basically a reed type call. And to use this thing, you basically just want to put your lips over the reed, and everybody's a little bit different. You know, you can change your tones by moving your lips up and down the reed of the call. Put your lips over it and just huff air into it, and you can make any kind of cow sound you want to, from just low mews and chirps to the aggressive calling.
Look, give me the loud one. I like that loud sound.
Okay, it has really worked for us bringing elk to the camera.
I've talked to several outfitters and people that really know elk, and they say when a cow does that, a lot of times she's the aggressor, and she's wanting that bull.
Well,
I think they recognize that.
You're right, and you know, in our frame of mind, it's a lot like aggressive turkey calling.
Absolutely, a lot like it.
Okay,
You know,
you got the real cow talker.
The real cow talker, and this is one I think, Chuck, that anybody can use.
It's very user-friendly, Harry.
And it really is, and you can give a good low sound with it, which is very important at times. You know,
That's right.
It's real
That's
low.
a close-in type
Sure,
call.
that's exactly what it is.
You ready to see some muzzleloader action?
Let's show the viewing audience some good muzzleloader hunts.
On the evening before the opening of the 1996 muzzleloader season, our team is glassing canyons, trying to locate a bull for tomorrow's hunt. The Welty boys like to move from place to place until they locate a herd. These tactics pay off. We have a nice bull spotted. Our team will settle down and watch these elk until dark. Spirits are high the next morning. Shortly after daylight, Harold and David locate the elk, and it looks like guide David Welty has also found the herd. He is definitely ready to get set up.
He spied something because he is running like Billy Goat.
Harold, armed with the CVA Apollo, settles in about 50 yards ahead of his guide. If the bull comes in, he'll be looking beyond Harold's position for David Welty's cow calls. This could be a perfect setup. Let's see what happens.
You look like me, you hit him. What do you think?
I hit him right there.
55, 60 yards?
About 55, 60 yards. Boy, I mean, just looking right at
Let's go see if we can find some blood.
All right.
Good job calling, son. Good job. Gotta be right here close. There's good blood pressure here.
When I seen that worm blood, that all
Yeah. All right. It don't take you long to end your hunt, does it?
Boy, that's in forward, but I tell you what, I couldn't resist him coming up there like this.
That's great.
Oh,
Man, opening morning, 20 minutes into it. Good shot, Harold.
Yeah.
That's great.
Oh, he stopped up.
Right through there, Dave.
Yeah. Good shot.
Woo-wee.
Well, now that there is going to have to go on the wall as a western mount, ain't it, Harold?
You know, this is the first muzzleloader. I've killed several with a bow, but it's the first gun elk I've ever killed.
David, he answered that call about 5 times and come running, didn't he?
Yeah, he's coming. Yeah.
Well, what do you say? We ease on out of here, get us a little help, get this bull processed, and let's go again. I can't wait.
Yeah, we gotta get you going now.
Hi, I'm Bob Hickey with Connecticut Valley Arms. One of the most frequent questions we get from the muzzleloading hunter is the effective range of his muzzleloading rifle. There are 2 principal factors in determining what your effective range is. One is the type projectile that you will be using. If you're using a patch and a round ball, your effective killing range on a white-tailed deer is about 75 yards. If you're hunting a bigger animal such as an elk, your range is obviously less than that. If you use some of the modern sabots and pistol bullets and the conical bullets, you can extend your range on out to about 100 yards. What I like to do is to limit myself to the 100 yards in order to give me a little leeway in judging the distance. The other variable is determining the effective range will be the amount of the powder you put in it and the caliber of the gun, whether it's a 50 or 54. But these are not as important as the type projectile. So the variables are the type projectile you're using, the powder load you're using, and the caliber of your gun. Good luck and good hunting.
Now, let's join Bob on a muzzleloader hunt in the beautiful New Mexico mountains near Chalma. Ideally, on a muzzleloading hunt, you want to spot an animal, then stalk into calling or ambush range. It's not long until Bob makes a move on a good bull. But this bull has some cows and refuses to come into good muzzleloader range. Later in the evening, Mr. Hickey gets his opportunity to test the new AccuBolt muzzleloader when they call a good bull along a ridge into effective range. Get ready for some action. Reloading is fast and easy with CVA's accessories, but in this case, a second shot isn't necessary.
Well, I can tell you Harold Knight and David Hale are going to be awful proud of us, aren't they?
They should be.
Well, Mr. Paul, you did a good job, you know. I didn't think we were going to find this elk, and we were doing some cow calling. He came up over that little old ridge, you know, and
You put a good shot on it.
That's a pretty good bull there, Dave. Look at it. Same with his head down.
David has spotted a big herd of elk, moving from their nighttime feeding zone back to their bedding area. A perfect wind has allowed him and his hunting partners, Harold Knight and guide David Welty, to get in front of the elk. Our hunters are set up on the edge of a long draw that leads to some brushy canyons, a good bedding area that has lots of cover and shade. David Welty's cow calls will only help increase the odds of getting a shot. When calling any wild game, being in the path that the animal travels can make a big difference in the success of the hunt.
Hale. That was one fine shot there, buddy.
Come on in here, Dave. Good call, John.
What do you think, Bubba? Good shot. I guarantee you I don't know where you hit him. You hit him on the other side because he's coming.
I couldn't tell you how many points here. Look here, 6-by with a... Dadgone, he's got a broken eye guard.
That's a nice one.
Yeah, that's a good bull.
Now you hit him on the other side because he's going that way and that bullet didn't go all the way through him. I don't have no earthly idea where you hit him, but wherever you did,
Man, that is
done
one fine animal.
Good.
Now, let's join our team for this elk hunting tip.
Butch, when you and Chad did your mouth diaphragm tips, I think that was great, but there's a lot of us out here that can't use a mouth diaphragm very proficient. And one of the things that Knight and Hale does, especially a guy like me, I'm not the best caller in the world, I'll be the first to admit it, so I want to use something that sounds good. I don't have to put a mouth diaphragm in my mouth. I'm not a gagger, but a lot of people are. But nevertheless, I wanted to put a call outside my mouth. Now, we have a call here that fits around your neck, goes under your arm. It's called an 801 big bull elk bugle here. So what it is you stick your top lip on this rubber band right here, and you just blow air into it until it breaks. You got to pop your lip off of it. There is a little technique to it. Now, once you learn to blow this, which it doesn't take a whole lot, just by adding air and taking air away from it, then you can make different pitches and you can make moans and groans. And I heard this a bunch this year with bulls going. Now, a lot of times they're just not out there bugling giant, but they're letting you know that they're there. And really all a bugle calls for is to try to get that bull to answer you, in my opinion. There's a certain time that they will come to it, but more or less it's to get them to answer you. Now, I know you use a mouth diaphragm and you use a tube. So show again how you can use a mouth diaphragm and why you do it that way.
Actually, I use both calls, but a lot of times I'll be walking through the wilderness locating cows and locating bulls with a double aspen. So I'll have it in my mouth, so I'll just stick it, keep it in my mouth and do a little bugle on it.
Again, you're just trying to solicit a bugle where you can move in close on it. And you know, a third kind of bugle call that we make is one called an extended tone. You can just pull this hose out here, and this is convenient for packing. You just push it back up and stick it in your pocket. This is not a musical instrument per se, like maybe this call or yours is. All you've got to do is pick it up and make a squeal on it. Sometimes you can get a bull to think, hey, there's a little bull, I'm gonna bugle back at him, let him know I don't want any part of him being over here. And you do that by just going. Now, if you can blow air into it, that's got a high-pitched bugle, and I promise you, if you're out there at 200 yards, you're not going to know the difference. You know, Butch, you spend a lot of time over the last years going elk hunting, and I think this is a time where we need to talk about some essential items. Now, I'm a gadget person. I like to carry everything in the world, and once I get out there and I don't need it, I'm bogged down. And I mean, ounces make a difference here. So let's go through what a guy would need if he goes on a wilderness hunt of some kind that he would actually use, not stuff he thinks he wants. Tell me what you got here that you just took out of this bag and why you got it.
I tell you, I'm a gadget person too, but this will be my 12th year out there in the backcountry doing it the rough way. And every year I try to get it down to the bare essentials, and that's the key word, the essentials. Weight and essentials is the two key things. So what I've come up with is the things you have to have. One of them is going to have water.
I heard a water bottle.
And obviously, the first thing you're going to have a pack. You want a pack. I like a pack with pockets that you can reach in and get individual things as you need them instead of digging down in them. And I also want a pack to have the room after the mid-morning, something I can pull my jacket off when it gets warmer in some cases, and put my jacket in there and have enough room to carry it.
And it's soft and not noisy.
It's soft and not noisy. Another thing I think is essential is have some kind of first aid survival kit.
Okay.
Everybody should have a compass. That gives you a lot of confidence in where you're going and everything. And I got this open little one-blade Gerber knife. This is sharp. I only take one knife, but I also take a sharpener to sharpen. When I get the elk down, I can field rest and everything like that.
All right, and I know you're a big optics man, like everybody that goes out west is.
I've had these Pentex on a lot of hunts. and I keep them around me most of the time.
I think one of the things that people really forget about is the camera. You're on the scene, you take the picture, you just can't drag these elks everywhere.
For a number of years, I didn't take a camera because I never did find one that was waterproof, and never did find one that was small enough. So I got me a camera these last 3 years, and I tell you what, that's one of the best things I've done. It's not real heavy, so it's not taking up a lot of room.
That's Pentax's little waterproof camera.
Yep.
All right, and you got this little deal here that you can just throw if weather gets bad.
Last 4 years, I've been using this here, and what happens is you leave your camp of a morning, you're walking maybe 3 or 4 hours. You're getting there, and it comes a downpour. Instead of getting wet and damp that evening, what you do, this is real lightweight, doesn't take much room. You just pitch it over you, or make a little lean-to, and you wait the storm out, and you're ready to hunt.
What's this little gadget?
This is something Gerber makes that I've been taking with me. This is just a survival thing. This fire starter.
Matches and what have you.
It's not no match. It starts a fire, and it's got something in there to start it, even if it's wet and everything.
Well, probably one of the most important things we hadn't mentioned is your rain gear. That's essential that you carry that. You got that 10X Shikara cloth on, and the great thing about it, Butch, it's quiet, ain't it?
It's quiet, and I'll tell you something else I like about this. On certain days, you can just wear this to hunt in. And if it's raining, you're covered. And if it's real cold, what I'll do, I'll pack this in my pack, and because it's not real heavy.
But what do you say we get back some more good elk?
Let's go.
David Hale has picked a prime waterhole in the San Juan Mountains of Colorado as his first morning setup. This will be an ideal video spot if it works.
Out. What do you say we go chase one somewhere?
If you're an elk hunter, this season in these majestic mountains is breathtaking, even without any bugling. But when you add lots of bugling bulls, it's not only breathtaking, it's a bone-rattling, knee-shaking outdoor experience. After locating a good-sounding bull, David uses his home turf turkey hunting tactic. That is, move in close, set up, and give him some excited calls. This is a real nice bull, but it's the first morning, so David will pass on this one. Around midday, when the bulls take a break from bugling, a smart hunter will catch a catnap, get his batteries charged, and be ready for the afternoon bugling session. When calling any game, setting up is the key. You will see that David has picked the ideal spot. There are several bulls within calling range, so let's enjoy the show. This first bull isn't quite what our hunter wants. Plus, another bull is answering the call and has a deeper bugle. Odds are, it's a better bull.
Chuck, let's spend a little bit of time right here on talking about that cow call. Now, we've got something. We're on to something. And I think the key to it is, and I want you to blow it here and show, is the hyperness of it. I mean, it's not only just hyper, but you hear these cows out here mewing and doing their thing, and the bulls are not paying attention to them, but the moment you blow on that, you got volume, you're reaching out there and touching him, you got some excitement in it. He's coming and looking.
I think that volume's the key. I mean, you sound better than anything out there. He's a rutting bull, and he wants to hear the best sound he can hear.
All right, I'll tell you what I want you to do. Just mimic a cow that's just out there doing her thing, and then show the difference between the excitement you put into it in a rhythm when we're calling it up.
Well, you know, cow, you can do mouth diaphragms and things like that, but she's got more of a...
But most cows that are with the bulls are just making a single sound until they get excited. That's what you hear.
It's real low like that.
And then when you put that excited sound in like you're doing that rhythm, do it again. I want to hear that rhythm again.
We moved in like we do turkey hunting. You know, you moved in here and bugle and got those. Now, they'll answer that 801. That is a locator call, and they'll come to it, too.
You know, this is the most underrated bugle call in the world because it sounds like these bulls, but most people overlook it. They think with a little, hold that right there a minute. They think with a little rubber latex on top of it, and you got to get it in a half moon shape with a little dimple in it. And it sounds just like these bulls.
Give me that little old low grunt or squeal you've been doing.
How many times have we heard that?
If one doesn't answer you, I'll be surprised.
and then of course, locating the bull. I mean, we do more cow calling when you actually get him in there, but to locate him, he'll answer this right here.
Oh, that's it, 100%.
Well, I'll tell you one thing.
Then you move in there, of course. We use a style of turkey hunting, get as close as possible.
Get in their face.
You made a comment today, you said, you know, make his circle smaller that he's got to work in. And then we hit him with that excited sound, and I started off just... It's not a bite down call. You put your lips on it. It's just a reed call, and you just huff air into it. Just...
One of the things that we were on here on this particular hunt was a rifle hunt. We got in the bugling season here. It was good. You need something that really will bring an elk down. Nothing like a 7mm Magnum. It's elk medicine, no doubt. I got a Pentex scope on it. It's a 3.5x10 light seeker. Obviously, from the distance I shot my elk, we didn't need a lot of power, but I had her set in at 200 yards. It was very important to us. Another thing that's important to you is your little binoculars. You got to have them. Little 10x 10-power binoculars here. They are Pentex's little UFC mini binoculars. You've got to have something compact, something you can visually see out here at a long distance. And of course, when you talk about the kind of shell that you use, I was using Winchester's fail-safe shells, using a 160 grain bullet. That right there did a job on the elk.
Now, let's listen to these live elk sounds. If you're interested in some of the elk hunting places featured in this video, take a look at these outfitters. Now, let's take a look at the fine line of elk calls used in this video.
Well, I tell you what, I hate to see this rain bring us in. A little ice, it's reminding me of winter all over again, but can you believe whitetails have already dropped in the sheds?
Yes, I can.
That's what I found right there.
That's proof right there it is. This one right here dropped the shed, but he dropped it earlier than he aimed to.
Where'd you find that?
Well, I found it over pretty close where I had my stand last year.
Well, I'll say this much. Mine are still alive, and I'm not going to tell you where I found them.
Well, that's two different deer, too.
Sure, it's two different deer, and they're going to be good ones this year. If that's, what are you going to do?
Well, I'm not going to hunt that spot, I don't believe. I had to find me a new one.
Let me tell you what I'll do. You know, horns intrigue the heck out of me here. I'll trade mine for yours. Would you trade me for those right there?
Well, I sort of like these. You know, the squirrels hadn't eaten these up yet. They eat on just a little, but, you know, I'm going to keep them. I like them.
Now, look here. That was a great whitetail. He would look good sitting right here along with this elk. And speaking of that, it's nothing intrigues me any better than elk in the memory of this elk right here. This is one that Chuck filmed or killed.
Yeah.
And he was supposed to be here this afternoon and had to leave, but you know what? He's got his memory laying right here.
That's a good one, too.
And that's a real good one. I believe some kind of way we're going to have to draw cards in a few minutes for this set of horns right here.
You so like it, don't you?
Yeah, going right, I like it. But speaking of elk, folks, we just completed our first edition of the Volume 1 of Ultimate Elk Hunting. And you know, it took us 3 years, Harold, and I hope it doesn't take us 3 years to get Volume 2, but if it does, boy, the memories we've had of being out west are tremendous.
We had some great experiences. We had some great experiences coming up with new products and testing them. And we had a lot of help, but that was a joy.
Oh, there's no doubt. And speaking of new product, the product that you saw on this elk video, if you can't find it anywhere, all you've got to do is pick up that phone and call 1-800-500-YELP. That's Y-E-L-P. Now, you can remember that. That gets you into Night and Hale game calls. We can get you a brochure on where you can find that product, or you even order it direct, let you know what all kinds of new videos we got coming out. Speaking of new videos, Harold, boy, we had a heck of a coyote hunt the last 2 weeks.
I'm excited about a new coyote video. I think that's going to be great, David. But we're off to a good start.
You know, I like anything you can call, and here we are hunting for sheds, getting ready to figure out.
Did you call those up?
No, I didn't call them up, but you know what? It told me where we might be able to call up and start our 4th volume this coming fall of the Ultimate Whitetail Series. And speaking of our Ultimate Series, we got right now, since this one's completed, we got elk, and of course we're into our 4th season coming up of whitetail.
Yep.
We're fixing to start, once this weather clears out in a couple of 3 months, our 4th series of spring turkey hunting.
Right.
Our whole Ultimate Series has been a lot of fun making it, and folks, I hope you've enjoyed just half as much watching our Ultimate Series as we have making them. Again, if you need any product from us, write Night and Hale, Box 468 or Drawer 670 in Cadiz, Kentucky, 42211. And we'll forward you out some literature. Harold, I'm ready to go look for a few more sheds, and we'll have to get them old 10X rings to you out. We're going to see
You're going to have to do something because it's going to ice over. You's lucky. I'm going to find me a set this afternoon. It's already been shed.
Do y'all believe that? See you next time on a brand new edition of one of our Ultimate Series.